Good morning, everyone. I'm Fabio Montanaro, and welcome from IULM Communication School. Now we will go to present the Master of Arts in International Communication. For us, we have now Professor Mazzei, Dr. Rudiger Tellmann, and Dr. Carmen Di Vita. So before start, I ask you to mute your mics and shut down your webcam. And at the very end of the presentation, we will have a Q&A session. So you will ask all of your questions. Now we have a short video clip of presentation, and then we will start. Thank you.
If you dream of studying in one of the most vibrant and future-oriented cities, flagship of the purest Italian style, Milan is what you are looking for, the keystone to a successful career. Here you will find a high-level postgraduate education proposal to face the challenges in an ever-changing world. Innovation, promotion of talent, focus on the individual, international outlook and openness to the future. These are the values of IULM Communication School, the business school of the International University of Languages and Media, IULM. More than 30 masters and executive courses to offer the best training. 4 main areas of study: media, languages and cinema, art, design, food and tourism, brand communication and sales management, social media and digital transformation. More than 10 international study tours to experience a real professional environment. 600 students per year, 80% of placements, and more than 60 global partnerships. These figures guarantee a high-end and international professional background. Start your career in Milan. Choose your future. Choose IULM.
Thank you very much, and welcome everybody also from my side. I am Alessandra Mazzei, as my colleagues already said. I am the academic director of the Master in International Communication here at IULM University. Together with me today we have Rudiger Tellmann and Carmen Di Vita. Rudiger Tellmann is the chair of the Hofstede Consortium, that is the consortium offering this master, and Carmen Di Vita is the secretary to the chair and coordinator of the master. Rudiger, would you like to add some few words about yourself, maybe later when you will start to present? Okay, so together with Rudiger and Carmen, today we prepared a short presentation that we are going to share. I would like to assume the control of the slides. I cannot see anymore. Okay, perfect. So now I have the control to share with you some slides. So a few words about our master. We divided among the 3 of us this presentation. This master is a 3 terms program. It means that it will last 3 terms, 3 kind of semester, and a very specific feature of this master is that it's offered by 3 universities: IULM University, Leeds Beckett University in the United Kingdom, and Vilnius University in Lithuania. So this is a triple master degree, actually. The idea is to train intercultural competent professionals that are able to operate in a very integrated and globalized world, in particular from the communication point of view. So 3 is a kind of keyword for this master. You students that will enroll will gain 3 master degrees issued by each of the university involved. During the 3 terms of studies, students will move from one university to another one. So students will start at your university, then will move to Leeds Beckett University, and at the end they will move to Vilnius University. So it's a master based on a very high level of mobility from the side of students. This assures a very international, intercultural learning environment, as students will experience 3 different countries and 3 education systems. Also, the learning environment is so intercultural, intense, because of the faculty of the master is made by teachers coming from at least 3 different countries and 3 universities. But actually, we have teachers that come from more than 3 countries. And also, the students come from different and several countries. So the learning environment is really international and intercultural. In this slide, you see the 3 universities offering the master. A few words from my side about your university. Most of you maybe already know our university. We are a private small university located in Milan, focused on communication, languages, arts and culture, tourism and territory. We are a kind of young university because our university was founded 51 years ago. Nevertheless, we have a strong and solid tradition in the field of communication. So the most important competencies that we can offer to enrolled students is about communication. And of course, you will experience a term in the lively town of Milan. Say that, I leave the stage to Rudiger, that will introduce Leeds Beckett University and Vilnius University. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Professor Alessandra Mazzei, for the introduction. And it's of course my pleasure to be here today. And it just also shows our very integral joint master program where people from various countries come together. And as Alessandra already mentioned, I'm the chair of the consortium of the 3 universities. And just to talk 30 seconds about myself, I myself have quite an international career in my back. So I'm originally German, and I'm of course still German, and I started my university career in Germany, and then I joined an international private university in Estonia, which is a bit like our MIG program, where students from all over Europe came together to study there. And then now, since 15 years, I have been a kind of lecturer at Leeds Beckett University. And as Alessandra just mentioned, we have here a combination of 3 universities, and each university has its specializations, has its specific features, and this brings together the strengths of these 3 universities. So IULM, as Alessandra said, is quite a young university. So Leeds Beckett is probably in the middle. The university is about 100 years old, but we are specialized, or let's say our specific strength is that we have been a leader in public relations education in the United Kingdom. So actually at Leeds Beckett University, we started the first public relations bachelor degree in the UK. Of course, not 100 years ago, but this was about in the 80s. And that's actually our strengths, which we bring in our history and our background and competence in public relations education. And also a couple of words about Vilnius University. Vilnius University is the oldest university in our joint consortium. And Vilnius University is also the leading university in Lithuania, in the Baltics. They are one of the oldest universities in Europe. But what do they bring into the MIG program? They are one of the leaders in communication education actually in Eastern Europe. So their communication courses are every year ranked at the top in Eastern Europe. And they bring in specializations, which we will talk about later. For example, they are kind of have leading professors in international crisis communication. They are also very strong in public diplomacy. And we will talk about this in a minute when we talk about the curriculum. Okay, so I just give now the floor back to Alessandra.
So, these are some features of our program. The program will start in February 2022. And as I said before, each term of studies focused on specific topics. We will see them in a few seconds when the students move from one university to another one. At the end of their path, the students will prepare a master thesis. The total number of credits that students will gain are 100 credits. Sorry. This is in these slides an overview of the entire program. Term 1 at IULM University from February to May 2022. At IULM University, the contents, the subjects of this term will be digital communication, neurosciences and psychology of consumptions, research methodology, and a workshop. Let me spend a few words about this workshop. We have this kind of experience all over the master, also in the other 2 universities. Workshops are special sessions dedicated to activities that students will carry out together with companies. One of the most important features for us is the professionalization of our students, as our aim is to train managers and consultants that can work at senior level in companies and consultant agencies. Moving to Leeds Beckett University, maybe Rudiger, you would like to introduce this part, the term at Leeds Beckett?
Yes, thank you. Yes, indeed. Then from September, from September each year, of course, then from September 2022, you will arrive at Leeds. And as Alessandra just mentioned, the teaching and learning philosophy of the MIG program is that you get in contact with the professional scene at each university of your journey, of your MIG journey. And the same happens in Leeds. You have to do 3 courses. And the first course is the strategic communication course. And in this course, you do a campaign, a PR project for a real client, so that you literally learn by doing how to do PR or communication in the United Kingdom. And we also have a course which is corporate communication in an intercultural context. This is also a course where you do also a kind of like workshops, because as Alessandra mentioned, you are in a very international classroom, and we had in the past, it could be that there are students from 15 or even more different countries in the classroom. So you learn about the different cultures, and since you have to do teamwork, you learn about how to work in a team. But of course, you also learn how to deal with the professional context in which you will operate. And yes, and therefore you do, of course, also a kind of training sessions, like, for example, intercultural workshop. And then we have just one final module, which is the specialist communication management. And this is, again, one feature, as Alessandra mentioned. We try to bring together all the experts or the specialists which we have at our universities to bring you in contact with their personal interest features in which they are kind of leading academics in their countries or in Europe. So that's just a mixed course which brings together specializations. And then just to have a quick word about Vilnius, this is the same. At Vilnius, you also have experiential elements. So you will have guest speakers from Eastern Europe, from the Baltics, from Lithuania, and you have courses in which Vilnius University Communication School are also specialized and have dedicated lecturers like public diplomacy, international crisis communication, and then you can choose from 3 modules or courses, 1 more. And these are also courses in which Vilnius University, they are a kind of specialized and have their strengths. And then you have to do, in the end, a master thesis. So, yes, so then you have to do the master thesis. This is a kind of independent work in which you are guided by your supervisors. But just before I give back the floor to Alessandra or Carmen, so as you can see here from our curriculum, you start in February 2022 in Milano, and then you finish your classroom studies in May 2023 in Vilnius. That's your MIG journey.
Thank you, Rudiger. Just to underline that, as you can see from this slide, and as Rudiger and I tried to express, you will start with some topics, subjects on the very fundamentals of the field of communication, the digital environment, neurosciences, and psychology, in order to increase your ability to understand and to listen to your audiences, both consumers and stakeholders. And very important for us, the research methodology, all these instruments that will allow people to manage situation, to ask a question, to gather data, to interpret and elaborate data in order to try to describe and understand the phenomenon. Then in Leeds, you will go to the fundamentals of corporate communication in an international context and planning method. And After this, you will have the possibility to go into depth in several specializations fields, from internal communication to public diplomacy to sustainability and so forth. So we believe that this program will give you a very wide and integrated understanding of the field of international corporate communication. So now the stage to Carmen, that will introduce us to the requirements and other important details. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Alessandra. Yeah, the requirements for admission are a bachelor degree and an English certificate that prove your proficiency in that language, since the master will be fully in English. Of course, there will be many other documents to be provided, such as the copy of your bachelor degree or a form with general information, a motivation letter in English, but you will find all this information on our official MIC website, and we can, of course, get in touch to further go deeper in this kind of details. The master lasts 18 months from February 2022 to September 2023, and it's structured in three terms, as Alessandra already mentioned. Will be in English, and the cost is 3,500 euros that can be paid in 3 different installments. The master is updated. All the information are on masterininterntionalcommunication.eu, where you can find all these kind of detail and more information about the program. Officially, registrations will open on May 1st, so the website will be completely up to date by that date. Regarding the thematic areas, we have already saw the program structure. There are many corporate communication courses, digital communication, all the big themes related to the communication field, but also research methodology, for example, that will help you in with your master thesis. That is a very big project. One of the plus of the master will be for sure to see 3 different universities with different method, but we can see that the learning method will be the same. So aside to the theory will be professional workshop, role plays, tutorial, company visits also. Last time we went to Rome visiting FAO or many companies to go deeper in a particular field of the communication. It's a 360-degree approach to communication, since the aim of the master, as Alessandra said, is to train professionals of communication. And regarding the career, it opens, the master gives many opportunities, access to very different career paths, such as communication officer, corporate communication consultant, public affairs specialist, among many others. So the possibilities are wider, and more than ever we are experience how communication and international communication is important in this particular moment. Alessandra, I will give you back the floor, or maybe Rudiger, yeah, that can.
I think Rudiger.
Yeah, can show us.
Rudiger, if you want, you can assume the control.
Yes, and thank you. Thanks, Carmen and Alessandra. And we just have put together a couple of photos, because as we just say, you have to dive into the program and you have literally to get at least some impressions what is actually going on in the classroom and what we told you. And as Carmen and Alessandra already mentioned, the strengths or the idea of our master program is literally to address current trends. So the question is literally what is actually going on at IULM or in Italy in terms of corporate communication, what is going on in the United Kingdom. So we really try to pick up all the current trends and developments. And yes, and here we have some photos to give you some idea what is happening in the classroom. And the first photo is a very good symbol that what we told you, that we have a very diverse student body. So you will meet literally students from all over the world in the classroom. And this, of course, gives already a very international flair. Just the other two photos just tell you what also Carmen said. You do a kind of company visits, like at Whirlpool in Milan. And the upper photo was from our student client project with IKEA, which we did with mixed students. And this is the winning team, which developed a PR campaign for IKEA. So that just gives you a bit of a flair, literally also the upcoming photos. And it is, of course, getting you out of the comfort zone. So that's, of course, one point and one challenge, that you have to go into a different culture, meet different people. But the charm is, of course, that you will make friends. And as we have put at the very first slide, it's a once in a lifetime experience, because you will make friends from all over the world, and not to mention even the professional contacts which you have. So the network also later, when you have finished your study, reaches out all over the world, where your classmates will work and will have their career. Yes, some more photos, which just gives you a kind of the classroom mood. And here we have from the FAO visit in Rome. So it's, of course, very experiential what we offer you. So you literally have to live international communication or international corporate communication. I mean, I'm often asked by some students, what is now the difference? There are other programs. Just to mention one, for example, there is a program in Germany, in Monaco di Baviera, which is also called international communication. And the big difference is that there are students sitting in a classroom for 1 or 2 years in Monaco di Baviera, and they learn how to do corporate communication, let's say in the United Kingdom or in other parts of the world. And then we always say, yes, but how can you learn this in Germany, how to do public relations in the UK? You have to experience this, and this is what we want to offer you. Okay, and you will come to your end. So that was a very good symbol, a very good photo, that you will graduate after your 3 terms. And then the question is, what Alessandra and Carmen already mentioned, what will you do after your studies? And we just want to show you where are our alumni and what are they doing. And yes, Alessandra, Carmen, of course, just please step in. Yes, this was a graduate who stayed in Italy.
Yeah, she's Silvia, and she's working for World Food Program in Rome. She's still there. She's living in Rome now. She comes from Brazil, and she was a very brilliant student.
Yes, yes, this is Ludwig. He's now working in Wien, in Vienna, and he is now a consultant in a brand agency. And I mean, interestingly, despite he is Austrian by origin, he already grew up in Italy. And so he really loved the idea to study in various countries. And now he's a kind of back to his roots and working very successfully in Austria. And what I also want to mention here, as you can see, he is a graduate from 2020. So he just graduated last summer, and he already had his job. When we had the graduation ceremony, he already worked in his job. So that's, of course, also a strong feature, that our graduates they very quickly find jobs. They are, of course, open-minded, and they are, of course, also curious for new challenges. And that makes it, of course, also easier. So they have, of course, learned how to get out of the comfort zone, and they also find jobs. And this is Alessia. She is also originally from Torino, a graduate from 2018, and she works now in Spain, in Barcelona, and she fell so much in love with the idea to go from country to country, let's say it like this. And the funny thing is here in this story that Alessia actually did her master thesis about the student hotel. So that was her research object, her case study. And with this master thesis, this helped her to find a job, actually. So she actually approached the student hotel and said, yes, look, I have done some research about you. And this helped her to secure a job. So she's working today in Barcelona as brand and community executive at the student hotel company.
And Isabella is a very smart and brilliant professional, a German girl, and now she is a manager summit and conference at IAA Mobility Show trade fair in Munich. I remember her. She did a great master thesis on different perspective in media relations in Italy and Germany. So as we saw from these pictures about our alumni, and as Rudiger said before, we have a very international cohort of alumni. And as I saw in the list of attendees to this session, that people attending this session are most Italians, I would like to underline that we enrolled a very few number of Italian students, because as we said, this is very international. So I hope that for people that are interested in having this such intercultural, international experience, this program can be very attractive. So thank you for your attention. And now, if you want, we are open for a question and answers session.
Yeah, thank you everyone. So here we are, our Q&A session. Please write it down in the chat space. We will read for you.
Fabio, if people want, can they ask also opening their microphones?
Better with the chat space, write it down, but we have a hand button on the top. So if they want, they can click on the hand button and we will open their mics.
Yes, maybe I can just, I see that somebody is asking the first question, but what I just want to underline is what Alessandra mentioned at the beginning. So this is a triple degree program. So this is not an exchange program or a study abroad program. You get 3 degrees from 3 universities.
Yeah. Okay, we have the first question from Mirko. Do the students have the possibility to have an internship? How long would it take?
Rudiger, if you want, I can say a few words and then you can add something, or the reverse. So internship is possible, but in this program it's not mandatory. It's encouraged, and we can support you in finding an internship, but it's not mandatory. To keep, fundamentally to keep it simple. But students that want, they are encouraged, and if they want, they can link their master thesis also to an internship, conducting a project on for a real client.
Yes, that's a very good point, what Alessandra said, especially when you are at the 3 universities and you have, for example, guest speakers and you get some ideas or some inspiration to what you can do in your master thesis. That's very often a point of contact where you, yes, build up your network and then, for example, say, okay, I get now an idea what I can do in my master thesis. I want to relate it to this specific project which is happening in Milano right now or in Vilnius. So that's, of course, a link. And maybe I just add a quick point to this internship question is, as you can see, you will start at IULM in February 22, and then you continue in September at Leeds Beckett. And in, for example, this is an opportunity that you, when you have something like a summer break, that you can also do an internship somewhere.
Okay, another one. Do I need a specific university background in humanities communication in order to be admitted?
Carmen, maybe this is a question for you.
Okay. No, actually, it's not necessary to be already in the communication field, since, as Alessandra said, we start from the beginning. So it's a bachelor degree in general is enough, not specifically in the communication field.
And maybe for Carmen again, is there a deadline for submitting the application?
Yeah, registration will close on November 2021, but we usually invite people to enroll before in order to check all the documents needed, especially for the non-European students that also have to submit visa, etc. But yeah, registration closed on November.
Maybe I just add, I think it's really great that we have Carmen here today, because Carmen is, let's say, the face behind our website and behind the link which is labeled admissions. So Carmen is the person who can help you with your application. And as she mentioned, it's good to submit as early as possible, because she can tell you this is missing, or you see little things like the language test. She will give you more advice how you can do this and manage this. So that's, of course, the first point of contact for you if you have any questions to contact Carmen.
Yeah, I will answer consortium.mic@ul.it, so you can find here the contact.
Okay, how much does the program cost? Are full or partial scholarships available?
No scholarship available for this course, and it costs 3,500 euros. It is possible to split the payment in 3 different installments.
Okay, I think if we have no more questions, we can close here. So
can I just add something quickly?
Yeah,
I mean, that's of course the first step when you apply. And of course, if we just think a step further, then what happens when you have applied to the course? Then of course you have questions like, what about accommodation, for example? And I mean, of course, you start at IULM, and then when you move over to Leeds, the good news here is that Leeds is a city where a lot of student accommodation is available, and you will get support then from our international office, because you need to plan when you are at IULM. You already need to plan your stay at Leeds and then at Vilnius, and you will also receive support here, of course, from the international offices at Leeds and at Vilnius University. Because it's also related, sorry, it relates to does the fee also cover the cost of the accommodation? And the answer is, of course, unfortunately, no, it does not cover the cost of accommodation. And I know accommodation is always too expensive wherever you study in the world, but I can at least tell you the cost of accommodation in Vilnius is the lowest in the 3 places where you study. And in Leeds, there is a lot of student accommodation available, which is also, let's say, affordable.
Okay, now we are at the finish. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Professor Alessandro Mazzei. Thank you, Dr. Tellman, and thank you, Carmen. So we leave you all our contacts, and you can write all your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nice day.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.